Well, I taped the one side of the top here to the front so that when I turned it over I would know exactly where I wanted it to be, so it was taped together. And I had the practice one here for measurements, so I was able to pick up the depth and so forth there. So I've decided to put them 4 inches from the edge, from the point here. So we'll have two hinges, obviously, like so, which looks about right. And so we're set to go here. I've scribed the lines on there, and we'll be using our router plane to route out the mortises. So that's the next step. So after marking where the hinges belong before I can use the router plane, I've got to set in the markings with the chisel. So that we stop in the right place. And I'm doing both of them at the same time, like I did the earlier one. The other setup is over here, so I'll do the whole route, the whole side at the same time. Well, I'm whittling away at the mortises with the router plane here. Slow going. You can't take too much off at a time. And since I have so many to do, I think I'll be at this half a day. But I can only go down half a turn, 3/4 of a turn each time. And then I have to take the chisel and chop out the sides a little bit. So slow but sure. Well, there's the first set in, and now all I do is have to repeat that 2 more times, so I'm marking out the second set right now. Well, after cutting the mortises, I'm installing the hinges now. So what I do is turn it over and tape it to exactly where I want it. And in this particular case, I'm leaving myself a small, it's not even a 32nd of an inch gap here on purpose, because the edge will expand some over time. So this one here is screwed in, and it's pretty good. So with it taped, I can turn it over, and hopefully it will stay in the right place. And so this is how it looks on the underside, and then I just place the hinges into the mortises that are cut, and then screw in the hinges. You can see I did the 2 that are over there, and there's the hinges here. So there's one there, and this one's not cooperating. So we have a little trimming there to do on this edge. So that's, we're going to have to trim that off a little bit and then install the hinge. So I just trimmed off the corner there, so the hinge is ready to be installed. So I have a VIX bit here, which is a self-centering bit, which is easy to drill center holes. In each of them. And then we're ready to install the screws. Well, we'll see how well it works. I'm taking the tape off. The hinges are installed on the underside. And it should hinge. Well, that's a pretty good fit. So we got 2 down, 1 more to go. Well, I've kind of painted myself into a corner here. I've got 2 of the drop leaves attached, as you can see here. And what happens when they come down, here you can see the corners bump into each other, and so they would have to be cut back across here to allow them to drop. So since I'm copying an antique table, push it here a little bit so that it stays up, you know, and I'm pretty much following the design of this table in the Met Museum. Well, I've had my difficulties this week with the top because the leaves would not fold down to a 90-degree angle on the sides, as one of my observers on YouTube suggested. He said, I don't see how that's going to work. So I pretty much followed the design that was in the book here, you know, with dimensions and so forth. And I never did see the piece at the Met when I was there, but I blew up the corner here, and you can see they did cut an angle along the corner there, but I can't see the angle on the other side of that. But near as I can tell, that table leaves would not drop down to a 90-degree. So what I ended up doing is building a little practice piece here. I had the top before. Those were rejects from when I was making it. But with some poplar, I cut out the half of a tabletop or leaf, and then mitered it at 30 degrees. Doug Mulder was here yesterday all day helping me out with it, and we finally figured it out. But this is how it's going to look. I don't know if I can get the other one up when it's closed or open. So that's about the best we can do, unfortunately, or fortunately, but it's not too bad. So an alternative would have been to make the top much smaller, and so we would have had to, here's an example that Doug dug up. The corners would have to have 1.5 inches flat or round part of the circle on each of the 3 corners here for the thing to drop, because you'd have to have enough clearance for 2 times the thickness of the top here. So I could have done that with the top that we have. I would have had to make the triangle significantly smaller, and then saw off the corners, and then make the leaves much smaller. So I didn't want to do that, so we're going to go with the mitering solution here, which, well, you'll see it when I get it put together here. Well, there it is. I've got a little more tweaking to do with the miters, I think, but it's pretty good the way it's set. So this is how it will look with the leaves down, or with one of them up. like so, and then I'll show you what it looks like with them all up. Well, that's how it'll look with it open. So it's not too bad. Obviously, when it's finished. So I'm not sure I like this point right out here, but we'll see what we can do with it. But otherwise, it looks pretty good. Move back here a little bit, except for the clamp sticking out, but that's pretty much how it'll look.